yourself in when you do.
Doug, have you heard from Dennis?
Yeah, he's not going to make it, so you'll have to figure out what you want to do with him. Council will have to figure out what they want to do with him.
Why?
Well, that's 5 meetings, 4 meetings.
Okay,
43.
okay. I'll talk to you, I'll call you up tomorrow regarding that.
Call me next week.
Next
I'm on
week.
holidays this week. I'm on
Then
holidays.
I'll
this
call
week.
you next week.
All right.
Mhm. I believe it's 6 o'clock. Good evening and welcome to the Planning Advisory Committee meeting. We have present member Eric Fwizzy, member Paquette, and member Rowe. And present is not Andre Gagne, but Doug LaPlante.
He's at my side.
Okay, she's at your side. Well, on your screen it says your name is Andre Gagne, but we'll note it as Doug LaPlante. So I'll open the meeting. I'll need a mover and a seconder to open the meeting. Moved by member Fwizzy and seconded by member Paquette. That the Planning Advisory Committee meeting be open at 6 p.m. All in favor? And carried. Adoption of minutes from the last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review them? Are there any comments or questions? Then I'll have a mover and a seconder. Moved by member Rowe, seconded by member Puissy. That the minutes of the Planning Advisory Committee meeting held August 9th, 2021 be adopted as circulated. All in favor? In favor, Tom? Carried. Right. Disclose your pecuniary interest? Yes?
Item 5A. I am a member of the Financial Committee for St. Bernadette Church of the Corporation Pembroke Diocese Roman Catholic Episcopal.
All right. So do we need, do we have a written, Doug, yeah, okay, it's all taken care of, so Doug has it. All right, thank you. We do have a member that's missing, and that's member Shine, and I'll be talking to Doug next week. So we'll move on to consent applications A. I don't know what you want to do, Eric. If you want to stay on, bye-bye. Okay, I'll have Doug call you. Does he have your phone number?
No,
No, we'll just take them off the screen and we'll bring them back.
no,
Okay.
I'm gonna sign out, then sign back in. I'll be put on standby
Okay,
until
All right.
I'm put back in.
sounds good. Thank you. Consent B 2021. Owner Pembroke Diocese and applicant Father Neil Wallet for 3 new lots from part of Lot 30 Concession 2 being parcel 19382 NIP, rural, zone rural, and environmental protection. This property has not been severed. Comments from North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority, Public Works Manager, Hydro One are attached. The Algonquins of Ontario are requesting a deferral on this application to give them the opportunity to review the comments on the proposal.
You want me to speak to that, Jane?
Yes,
Okay, I received an email from Kathleen Forward from the Algonquins of Ontario. They're having their Heritage and Culture Working Group meeting on September the 9th, and they have an interest in this application and would like us to defer it to give them the opportunity to review it, because the requirements under the Planning Act is a 14-day circulation, and they have never requested an email copy, so they were just being mailed. And I'm going to talk to Mrs. Forward about possibly putting her on the email list as well, so that they can get it. But I would highly recommend, because in our official plan, it's very clear that we engage consultation with the Algonquins of Ontario in all our planning matters. And it's very important that we do that. So I would recommend to use guys that use duty for that application and give them the opportunity to make comment on this. But it's up to the committee to make the decision.
and I agree with you. In reviewing the application, I do believe that we need to look at the official plan when we're doing it. As this application concerns me where it says vacant plan. There's no mention of history in any of our applications. So it would be nice that it should be mentioned that in regards to historical lands that we document the buildings that were there before. There is no mention that the church was on this property. And that concerns me, and also concerns me through the official plan. And I don't know about the provincial policy statement, but I think that should be reviewed to reflect that also. So those are my concerns with regards to this property, and other concerns as the cemetery is located on this property, and the building across the road, which was a school. So these are my concerns. I don't know if there's any other concerns with the committee, or if you're all right to defer this application.
I agree with the referral.
Okay. Member Paquette? I can't hear you. You're on mute. There should be a microphone on your left side. There
There,
you- Okay,
you hear me now?
yes?
Okay, so we're deferring it just to give them a chance to respond? Or is there some concerns with respect to the designation of historical site, or what's the purpose to are we?
We're
It's
not-
to give them, it's to
Pardon?
give them the opportunity to investigate, to see if there is any concerns with the application. If there is no concerns, then that's what their response is going to be. If there is concerns and legitimate concerns, then they'll put them forward as well. And then at that point, because this is the planning process, then it's up to the committee to decide what the recommendation is going to be to council at that time. And then it's up to council to make a decision on the recommendation, which
I
is the planning
understand
process.
I understand that, Doug, but I'm just wondering, we're deferring it for the Algonquins of Ontario to determine whether or not that's a historical site, or why are
No,
we?
they're deferring it to the Heritage Cultural Working Group, to that committee.
But for the purpose to determine if it's a historical site or not, or what would the committee be looking at? All I want to know is, what are they looking at? Of course, they have the opportunity to respond, like Doug said, but I'm just wondering what they're looking for at this point, because although there's nothing there, the church is gone, and it is vacant land. There is a cemetery there, and I guess there is a gravel pit close by, right? So
That's right, that's correct. And conservation has mentioned that in their comments also.
I can support Tom's motion to defer it, but I'm just wondering, I would like to be more specific as to why we are deferring it. That's all.
They're not very
I think
clear in
that
their email.
may-
It's just on September.
I just feel there may be something historical there. That's all I'm thinking about. And if there is, then we would like to know, but I don't know how they would find out. But we can at least give them the opportunity to look. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So if I have
You
a
want-
mover and a seconder,
I will second it,
okay,
but I would like a specific reason to defer it.
all right.
That's I'll read you what they wrote in their email, which is what I wrote in the resolution, Neri.
Okay,
Whereas the Algonquins of Ontario are requesting that application B 2021 be deferred until they have the opportunity to meet with their Heritage and Culture Working Group in September to discuss and comment on this application. And
Okay.
that's the wording out of their email.
I'm okay with that.
And then it goes on to say, be it hereby resolved that the Planning Advisory Committee recommends to council to defer consent application B 20/2021. Corporation Pembroke Diocese Roman Catholic Episcopal until the Algonquins of Ontario have submitted their comments. That's what the resolution says.
Fine.
Sorry, Jane, it took away your job.
That's all right. So he read the motion. Do you want me to reread it?
No, I can hear it.
Okay.
I heard him.
All right.
Just that, I don't know quite how to say this. If the group is looking for severance for some reason, you know, if there's a time issue there, or I just don't want to see it go on for months and months and months and not go anywhere with it. So that's why I wanted something specific, but I'm satisfied with what Doug has put in there. I'll second it.
All right. Okay, whereas the Algonquins of Ontario are requesting that application B 2021 be deferred until they have had the opportunity to meet with their Heritage Cultural Working Group in September to discuss and comment on this application. Be it hereby resolved that Planning Advisory Committee recommends to Council to defer consent application B 2021 Corporation Pembroke Diocese Roman Catholic until the Algonquins of Ontario have submitted their comments. All in favor? Carried.
Before we go any further, just one thing I should have thought of before was, what do they plan to do with it? Are they, is it a dwelling of some kind? Did you hear me there?
Doug, did you hear? Doug, did you hear?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Just gotta get a drink of water.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh. You can hear me now? Yeah. I just want to know what they have envisioned to do with this property.
They have the plans to sell the properties, if that's what you're asking, to make a
Yeah.
revenue, to support the church, I would think.
Okay. Yes, okay, that's a good enough answer.
All right,
Yeah, I'm
so
okay with that.
we'll move on to B, application B 21 2021. Jeffrey and Jamie Vincent for 3 new lots from part of Lot 6, Concession 8, Parcel 651 NIP, and part of Lot 6, Concession 7, Part 1 on Plan 36R 5947, Parcel 25784 NIP, Zone Rural. The property has not been severed. Comments from Public Works Manager and Hydro One attached. North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority. Comments will be forwarded when I receive them. And I believe they're in there. Doug, did I see them?
Got them because they come in the day that I was delivering the packages, so I repackaged them into the package, that's all.
All right, okay. So,
Have Eric back?
yes, Eric's back.
Okay, I couldn't see him.
Yeah, so I have the application. And the dimension of the land is 330 feet. The depth is 383 feet. The area is 2.9 acres. Note, 3 new lots, all the same dimensions. See attached sketch. Existing uses is vacant. And it's got a map. All right. So Public Works comments, she recommends from the Public Works Manager regarding the application for consent. The proposed severance for 3 new lots, part of Lot 6, Concession 8, Parcel 651 NIP, part of Lot 6, Concession 7. There are no issues for this entrance on the proposed severance. So that's Anne's comments. And then Hydro One is the same. They have no comments or concerns at this time regarding this application. And Conservation, they do have the property severed. Okay, residential lots of Sunnyside Road severed. Lot number 1 is 1 hectare in size with 65.8 meters of frontage on Sunnyside Road. Severance number 2 is 2 hectares in size with 65.8 meters of frontage. And severed lot number 3 is 1.6 hectares in size with 65.8 meters of frontage. The retained lands of Bacon are approximately 29.68 hectares in size with frontage on Sunnyside Road. And then they have the following comments. This property is found within the Capescon River sub-watershed. A wetland is found in the north end of retained lands. According to our mapping, there is also a small wetland pocket on severed lot number 2 and 3. See attached sketch. These wetland areas are regulated by the Conservation Authority as per Ontario Regulations 177/06. Any work on the approximate regulated area requires a permit from the conservation. The site inspection was conducted on September 2nd. At that time, there appeared to be sufficient room and accommodation for initial and or replacement class 4 sewage system based on a 3-bedroom single family dwelling on each of the severed lots. Due to the size of the retained lands, there are no concerns with respects to these applications. So with that, are there any questions at this point? Is there anything you would like to add, Doug?
Yes, I would like to, if everybody's got a copy of that sketch, I'd like you to pull it out and take a look at it. I want to explain something to you here. Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, on that sketch along the bottom of the page where the train tracks are, you will notice there's a drawing of a garage, a dwelling, and a well. Everybody see that?
yes,
Okay, that's on lot 6, but it's on concession 7. And the property that he's subdividing, which is also part of that property, is on lot 6, concession 8. Okay. Now, the thing is, back in the day, I've been here a long time, but Rod O'Connor transferred Sunnyside Road over to the township of Bonfield. And in doing that, that automatically created a natural severance for where the house is. Whether or not he owned the other property behind or not at that time, I don't know. But I know that the front property and the transfer of the road was created, started in 1978 and finished somewhere in 1979. I don't know a specific date on that. And I don't know the legal ramifications of once a consent, always a consent, even though it was a natural consent. The township agreed to take the road knowing that that would be a consent. So in order to ensure that there's no landlocked property, because lot 6, concession 8, where he's taken the lots off of, if you notice, Sunnyside Road goes into the other piece of property where the house is, and there would be no more frontage on that 100 acres. So what I've done is I put a condition in on the resolution to restrict the properties under what we call Section 118 of the Land Titles Act. That would not do a lot addition to the properties. That would put a caution on title that one piece cannot be sold without the other. And that'll ensure that that's not landlocked. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about that. It's fine. We've done it before with people like Talon Lake Campground and other areas. And it's to ensure that there is no landlocked situation here. And Neri, I know it's another job that you do, but you're in the legal business and real estate business. Do you understand and agree with what I'm saying here?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's all I have to say, Jane.
So I'll read it and then I'll ask for a mover and a seconder. The Planning Advisory Committee recommends to Council that consent application B 2021 Jeffrey and Jamie Vincent be approved with the following conditions. 1, that this approval applies to the transfer as applied for, which shows 3 new lots on part of Lot 6, Concession 8, Parcel 651 NIP, and part of Lot 6, Concession 7, Part 1 on Plan 36R 5947, Parcel 25784 NIP. 2, that the following documents be provided. A, the original executed transfer, a duplicate original, and 1 photocopy for our records. B, a copy of the survey plan deposited in the Lands Title Office be required. C, an electronic copy of the survey emailed to cboplanner@bonfieldtownship.org. D, a schedule describing the severed parcel attached to the transfer for approval purposes. 3, if there is a forced road situation, a 20-meter road allowance or whatever amount is required for the purpose shall be transferred to the municipality at the owner's expense across the whole lot or parcel for which the severed was taken, and compensation shall be awarded as per the compensation grid for the transfer of forced roads. 4, that the building setback for all building must meet the requirements of the zoning bylaw for the retained and or severed lots, whichever are affected at the time of survey. 5, a fee of 5% in lieu of parkland dedicated to each transfer document shall be deposited in the office for the clerk prior to the stamping of the transfer document regarding the subdivision and or consent for each new lot. For the purpose of determining the amount of payment, the pay grid to determine payment of up to 5% in lieu of land to be conveyed for park and or recreation purposes shall apply. 6, if any, all tax arrears must be paid prior to the stamping of transfer documents for a new lot. 7, the owner shall cause a restriction under Section 118 of the Lands Title Act to be entered into the parcel register for the whole of the retained parcel in part of Lot 6, Concession 8, Parcel 651 NIP, and part of 6, Concession 7, Part 1 on Part Plan 36R 5947, Parcel 25784 NIP in the Township of Bonfield, District of Nipissing, and to read as follows. And this is what Doug was talking about. No transfer of the land shall be made or charge created unless the consent of the council of the Township of Bonfield is obtained. The consent of the council of the Township of Bonfield is not required in instances where the transferor or charge consents to the continuation of the restriction. The owner shall satisfy this condition by providing the Township of Bonfield with an undertaking from the person registering the documents committing to register the restrictions once the transfer has been registered. Doug, can you explain number 7 while I'm here? A little bit more.
I think what number 7 is saying in a nutshell is they can't transfer either pieces of property, okay, unless they get the consent of the township. In other words, they're tied together, okay? And if they went to get consent from the township would have to review it and say, no, we can't do that because you would have a landlocked piece of property behind it,
Okay.
okay? And then the other thing is when this is approved and the whole process goes through, the surveys are done, it goes to the lawyer's office. The lawyer will draft up the transfers for the properties for us to stamp back here, but it has to meet all the conditions before we stamp. And one of those conditions was the last thing you read was that the owner shall satisfy that condition by having the lawyer, is really what they're saying, provide an undertaking. Lawyers provide undertakings, saying that they're going to put that on title as soon as they transfer the land out, because they're going to transfer out the other properties and put that on the remaining land. And that's pretty much what they're saying. Okay,
All right.
so we're not going to stamp the deed unless we got the undertaking
Okay.
from them to make sure that that does go on title.
All right. Thank you for explaining that one. So I'll go on to number 8. No further severances shall be taken from this parcel unless by plan of subdivision. We have 3 notes. Note 1, a certificate of approval as required under Ontario Regulations 332/12 of the Ontario Building Code Act for the sewage disposal system must be obtained prior to development of the property. Note 2, an entrance permit may be required from the Township of Bonfield Public Works Department prior to development of the property. Note 3, a development, interference with wetlands, and alteration to shoreline and water course permits may be required from the North Bay Mattawa Conservation Authority prior to undertaking any development of the property. Now, note 8 is the part about the severance, no further severances, because then it'll be part of a subdivision property. And I think that's what you were talking about, where there was a natural severance where it was done prior to our official plan of 2012. Is that how I'm reading it, Doug? Like that's not, that natural severance is not included in as part of these 3 severed properties?
No, it's not, and it wouldn't be anyway, Jane. It's on a different lot and concession altogether.
Okay.
The other part,
right.
It just happens that the same owner owns both properties today. That's all.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right. This official plan is only for this official plan. And when you get your new official plan, if you keep the same things in your official plan, they'll be able to come back and get another 3 severances. Because now it's a new official plan. And you guys got interpretation on that back about a year ago, because I have a copy of it here. So I shouldn't bring this up because it's not part of tonight's meeting, but you're going to have to pay attention when it comes to the official plan amendment to have your consultants work hard on that section for consents to get it the way you want it here. Because it's not just Bonfield, this is all over. This kind of language is in official plans all over Ontario. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be.
All
So
right.
you really need to think about that when it comes to the official plan.
We will remember that. And as I've been talking to you regarding this, well, we can discuss this after this application, but you've been taking notes of all our comments and concerns throughout all these 10 years that we've been dealing with the 2020 12 our official plan. So anyways, I'll get on with this application and we'll talk about that after. Are there any other questions or concerns regarding this application? I'll have a mover and a seconder. Moved by member Paquette, seconded by member Fouzy, that this application be recommended to council. All in favor? And carried. All right. I lost my agenda. So there's nothing else on the agenda to talk about. Is there anything that any of my members would like to raise or have questions about?
I have nothing.
All right. So Doug, I do have a question about the official plan. We did bring it up to council at the last meeting, and the deadline is for December 2021 for the consultant to make their for council. My concern is the next council members are going to be young. They're not going to be trained. Quite possibly may not even have any of us on there, including you. Should we be concerned about this, that there's going to be a new group of people that may not have the training to review the official plan?
No, there's no concern, Jane. The deadline's December of 2022. And you guys are on council till December 1st, 2022. It's going to be
Okay.
done before your council term is up.
All right, and so this whole committee will be part of the consultant, working with the consultant?
Absolutely.
Like we did the last time, like our last official plan, the whole committee was involved, and we had group sessions, like weekly or monthly sessions. And we did the review of the official plan. So I don't know if this committee knows about how we did it the last time. I know, Neri, you were on that one.
Yes.
You were on that committee with myself, and when we reviewed the official
Yes,
plan,
I
but
was.
Tom, yeah, okay, so that the three of us were there. That's good. But Eric, this is what we did the last time, and I hope it's all right with you also. So, okay, all right. So that's
Very
what-
important, Jane. It's very important that the planning director calls those sessions. You need to go through that. You
Okay.
need to sit here like you did last time and comment on every part of it. Because yous are making the recommendation to council.
All right.
So he's got to be 100% involved in this.
Okay, and like we mentioned in our conversation, you've been taking notes, and you'll have your notes. You're working on them now to update them in time for that. So I thank you for your hard work and all your note keeping. And if anybody on this committee has they're taking notes and want to pass them on to Doug, feel free to do that also.
Yeah, because by the end of the month, Jane, I'll forward you guys a copy of all of the things I've written down.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
type it all up so you can understand my wording, and then I'll send you all a copy of my concerns.
All right. That sounds good. Is there anyone else that needs to say anything before we adjourn? No? Moved by, who's going to adjourn? Moved by member. Who wants to adjourn? Member Rowe, and seconded by member Paquette. That the meeting of the Planning Advisory Committee be adjourned at 6:35 p.m. All in favor? And carried. Thank you for attending this meeting. Thanks,
you. Good night,
Doug. Thanks,
everybody.
Andre. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.